Hi guys, hey, it's that time again. If this is the first time that you are joining in to Aunt Bam's Kitchen, it is sourdough time. We gotta make bread, and Esther just wanted to say hi real quick. Okay, Esther, go play. All right, we don't want any doggy germs, so let's wash our hands real quick. It has been a week since I made my last loaf, and of course we want to do this every week. You gotta feed your starter, and you've got to make what? Your sourdough bread. Okay, so got my scale here. The first thing that we want to do on the scale, hopefully you guys can see it, maybe not, but you got to have it on grams. Ooh, it's messing up because I'm touching it. So you've got to have it on grams. You want to take, again, a non-metallic bowl. I use glass. And you want to tear the weight of that out. Okay, so we're back to 0. Apologize if you guys can't see that. I can't really get the camera, oops, sorry, any closer. But the first thing we want to do is we want to take our sourdough starter from last week. We want to give it a good stir. Again, with a non-metallic. You can use silicone, wood, whatever. And we want to start by adding 150 grams of starter. We've already tore out the weight of the bowl, right? 125. We're almost there, guys. 154, so let's take a little bit of that out. Oh, 149, let's get it right on. You really want to be as precise as possible. Oh my, this is just playing with me here. Oh, 151. Okay, there we go. So we're at 150 on that. And then to that, and this is, you know, you can adjust your recipe. This is how I've always done it, how my daughter Gracie has taught me, and this original recipe came from my cousin Melanie. But you want to start with your 150 grams of starter, and then to that we want to add 25 grams of olive oil. So it's really important, now that we're at the 150 for the starter, we want to tear the scale back out to 0, right? Now we're going to take our olive oil, and we're going to add our olive oil to that, okay? You want 25 grams. 21. Oh, don't go over, don't go over. 27 grams. So, you know what? We're going to call her good, you guys. Okay, I'm not good with that, you're right. Let's take a little bit back out of there. 26. Olive oil is so good and so yummy. Way better than the seed oils. Please do not be using canola oil, corn oil, vegetable oil especially. Don't be using vegetable oil. Okay, so now we're back down at 25 grams. And then what else do we have to add to this, you guys? Sea salt, right? You can do between 15 and 18 grams of sea salt. You give it a good shake here. This is what I'm using for the time being, but what do we got to do first? That's right, we got to tear our scale up. Okay, we're back to 0. So again, we want to add between 15 and 18. There's 16, we'll go a little bit more. Okay, 17. So then what we want to do, so we've added our starter, our olive oil, and then we need 2 more ingredients, right? We need our water and we need our flour. So I like to use distilled water for this recipe. You can use your faucet water, well water, whatever you want, but I just prefer to use distilled water. So we're going to tear the scale back out again. We're back to 0. And again, because we started with 150 grams of starter, we want to now add 250 grams of water. There's 105. Oh my goodness, so we went way over. So my scale says 267. So there is an easy remedy for that. Get yourself, well, I'll be doggone. I do not see my tool that I need. Hold on, we're going to improvise, y'all. Or maybe we're not. Let's do this. We are going to take a little cup here. We're at 267. We want to try not to take out our olive oil. 255, 253. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Right on. 250. Okay, so now we've got our distilled water. Remember to tear that scale out again, right? And now we want to add 500 grams of flour. This is my favorite that I use, King Arthur. You can use any flour that you want, to be honest, but this is one that I prefer to use, and I do notice the difference in a taste and the way that the bread rises. So I use King Arthur's. And then when we get to this, we're back at 0, right? We want to add 500 grams. This is the easiest one to take back out if you go over. That's 337. I'm going to give it some more. And this glass measuring cup is about 2 cups, but 2 cups was 35. Keep going till we hit 500. We're at, what the heck, 502. We've just been going over it all day, haven't we? Let's take out just a little tiny bit here. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Look at that, 500. So then what you want to do is remove that. Now, if you are going to use your hands for this instead of a tool, you need to remove your rings. I would anyways. I love my sterling silver. Oh my goodness, it's stuck. Okay. So you want to remove these in case you do it with your hands. I actually prefer just to do it with a wooden spoon or a silicone tool. But then what you're going to do is just start mixing this up real good. Oh, look how pretty it is. Everything's always so pretty. Oh my goodness, Clyde, did you get flour on you? I'm sorry, buddy. So just give it a good stir, and you can see that it's kind of wet, lumpy, clumpy. It smells good. So just stir it around here. It just takes a couple of minutes. Maybe rotate your bowl. I don't. My daughter Grace likes to get in there with her hands. I did take my rings off, but to be honest, you guys, something that's really important to know about sourdough, you do not want to put it in your sink. Don't put it in your drain, you guys, okay? So then if I get in there like Grace does and I use my hands, well, then I've got to wash my hands off and all this stuff is going to go down my drain. You'll have to look that up, but it's pretty much a clog waiting to happen. Don't do it. I've heard of some people that just keep like a 5-gallon bucket of water in their kitchen so they can rinse their tools, they can rinse, you know, everything that they used, rinse their hands, and then they dump it outside. I actually don't have room. I live in a tin shanty. If y'all don't know what that is, it's a single wide mobile home. But at any rate, so I don't have room for a 5-gallon bucket in my kitchen. But what I do is I just take my jars in that and I soak them in hot water. I take like this bowl and this tool when I'm done, and I will just, wipe them off the best that I can with a paper towel. And then I will soak them in hot water, and then I will dump them out in the yard. So can you guys see this? It looks kind of clumpy. It's not exactly, you know, runny or too wet or anything. But what you're going to do with this is you're going to do it the best that you can. Make it into a ball here. You see that? Then you're going to take some saran wrap or some plastic. You're going to cut off a piece to cover that up real quick. Like so, huh, Esther? Okay. And then you're going to take a towel, just a hand towel. You're going to cover this up. You're going to let it rest for 30 minutes, okay? So I'll see you guys back here in 30 minutes. Hey guys, so it has been 30 minutes now. We've been letting our sourdough rise here. So now we just have a few quick things that we have to do, and then we're going to have to let it set for 24 hours before we can make our bread. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our towel off there and our plastic, and then we're going to take it. I like to try and get it right out of the bowl if possible. Then we're going to take it, and we're going to go like this and kind of knead it into itself. You do not want to overwork this. I know Gracie's future mom-in-law, I'm told, likes to play with her dough, but you really don't want to. That's going to interact with the sourdough, and it probably likely will not rise once you get it in the oven. So we're going to do that just like that real quick. And then we're going to set it back in the bowl, and we're going to cover it up. I also want to give you today's reading. It's called Times of Trouble. Cover it with some plastic there. Put a towel over it. And I'm multitasking today. Do you guys supplement your dog's feed? Because our dog food is so expensive and I'm now feeding 2 dogs, I like to just supplement with some like whole grain or brown rice. So it happens to be the time when I'm making their rice and it looks done, so we'll shut that off. Times of trouble. Hard times are inevitable. Loved ones die. Friends face sickness. Our spouse loses his or her job. The range of human pain is broad, but God comforts us in all our afflictions. Today's passage speaks of great calamities, some from natural causes, others are brought about by men. Such trials often bewilder us, but verse 10 tells us where to turn. God's followers should be still and remember, He's the sovereign Lord of the universe. The key to dealing with difficulty lies in trusting the one who controls all things. Instead of trying to manage the situation ourselves, we should actively wait for God to move and trust that He will work on our behalf. This involves taking time to be alone with our Father, crying out to Him, meditating on His Word, and listening to Him. Human instinct urges us to take control ourselves. In contrast, God wants us to patiently and expectantly wait on Him. He also tells us to surrender what we think is right and submit to His plan. It's hard to do sometimes, isn't it? It's definitely hard to do. I know, I feel you. As a single mom, I feel you. Going up a narcissistic co-parent, I feel you. But I trust God in all things. What's your response when trouble arises? Whether your current circumstances are good or painful, take time and be still before the Lord. Trust He is always in control. Today's reading is based on Psalms 46, 2 through 11. Now, tomorrow we'll come back after we've given this beauty 24 hours time to rise, and we're going to make our new sourdough bread for the week. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a good one. God bless.